Okay. Hello, welcome everyone. We are just going to get started. All right. Okay, so if you're in on the comments box, just give me a hello and we will just get this rolling. So today we are going to be talking about a very interesting article. It's around abolishing death penalty. Okay, so it will also develop your opinions with respect to the writing test too. Okay, and we'll also learn different words and so on. So just like any other guided newspaper practice class, we are going to be doing 3 rounds. The first round is going to be a mixture of listening and reading. So the aim is just to understand what is written. Okay, to understand the content completely. All right. Next, we will do a speaking exercise. So I will pick out a paragraph. I'll go very slowly, word by word, and you have to imitate the tone, the stress, the pronunciation. And finally, we will do a writing exercise where you will tell me your opinion and you will also tell me some new sentences out of the words we learned. Okay. Very good. All students, welcome. Hi, Dharani, Deepthi, Ruby, Meghna, Sumi, Arya, Vinil, Aman, Azra, Harishri, Jason, Jasween, Yajurved, Pamma, Ankit. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Hi, Jason. Very nice. Okay. So before we start, let's have your opinions straight away. What do you think? Should death penalty exist or should it be abolished? So death penalty means that for certain crimes, you will sentence a person to die. Okay, so by hanging and all these methods, you're sentencing that person to death. Okay, so what do you think? Which side would you take, or what is your opinion? Tell me first. Right, exist or abolish. Abolish means you're going to do away with this, so no crime will will be subjected to death penalty. If you want to abolish it, if you say exist, you will say for very serious acts, yes, it should be there. Okay, only then it will serve as an example. Now here the idea is not to see your standpoint. Okay, it is just to kind of have some kind of a start, and by the time we complete the article, we will see whether your opinion has changed or whether it is same, whether you're able to find some loopholes in the article and so on. Okay. Okay, good. Azra, Deepthi, Ruhama, Yajurved, Gagandeep, Vinil. Okay, so it depends on the crime means you say yes, it should exist there. Okay, good. Most of you are saying yes, it should exist. Only Deepthi till now is saying it should not exist. Azra as well should not exist. Okay, good, good. Now, today's article is from Amnesty. I'm not sure how many of you have heard of this particular human rights organization, Amnesty International. So they very strongly advocate against capital punishment or death penalty. Okay, so you might feel that this article is a little biased towards abolishing death penalty, but still there are some good points made as well. Okay, so let's see. Okay, wonderful. Let's begin. Now, the very first sentence, we know that together we can end the death penalty everywhere. Okay, so the article starts like this by saying if we are united and we put up this cause in front of different countries, then we can end death penalty everywhere. Okay, let's see. Every day, people are executed and sentenced to death by the state as punishment for a variety of crimes. Okay, sometimes for acts that should not be criminalized. Okay, in some countries, it can be for drug-related offenses. In others, it is reserved for terrorism-related acts and murder. Okay. Now, so basically the article starts by saying that this particular punishment varies. In some countries, if you're carrying some drugs, then itself a person can be subjected to death punishment. In other countries, it is for higher order crimes. Okay. Now, some countries execute people who were under 18 years old when the crime was committed. Others use death penalty against people with mental and intellectual disabilities. And several others apply the death penalty after unfair trials, okay, in clear violation of international law and standards. So what do you mean by a trial? What do you mean by a trial? If we say apply the death penalty after unfair trials, tell me. Hi, hello, Uma. Good morning. Trial. Very simple. So trial is basically the entire process of seeing whether the person has actually committed the crime or not, right? Court sessions, yes. Okay. So sometimes people get death penalty after unfair trials. You don't give a fair hearing, okay, and then the person is subjected to that. This is in clear violation. Hi, Deep. Okay. Now, people can spend years on death row. What do you mean by death row? As in the entire process of hearing. Okay, so people are spending years on that, not knowing when their time is up or whether they will see their families one last time. Okay, so that itself is mental torture, is what the article says. Let's keep going forward. The death penalty is the ultimate cruel, inhuman, and degrading punishment. Okay, so what is inhuman? Something that is not human. Okay, so even at a human level, it is not correct, is what it says. So Amnesty, this particular NGO, it is strongly known for taking such stance, says Amnesty opposes, okay, it rejects, it opposes the death penalty in all cases, without exception, it says, regardless of who is accused, the nature or circumstances of the crime, guilt or innocence or method of execution. Okay, so Amnesty International says we oppose death penalty whatever happens. We don't care about what crime, we don't care about who's the accused, we don't care about how you're going to kill that person. We oppose everything. Yes, are you able to understand the meaning of this phrase regardless of? Means I don't care about all these things. Whatever happens, I'm going to follow this. Okay, that's what it means. An example could be I am going to study hard regardless of any kind of distraction that comes my way. Okay, so immaterial of this, I am going to do this. That's what it means. Just give me a yes if you're able to understand regardless of. Yeah. Hi, Chef Kailash. Good. Arun, Ajanta, very good. Okay, so let's move forward. Good. Okay. Amnesty International holds that. Okay, holds that means this is our stance. Okay, Amnesty International holds that the death penalty breaches human rights. What do you mean by the word breaches? Breach. You might have heard it in cases where there are natural calamities. Okay, the water has breached the safety dam, okay, which means it has broken and come into, right? You can also use it for violation, some kind of violation, you can say breach. Very good, correct. Saurabh, Vinil, Aman, Nixon, Pama, very good, yes, good. Now, Amnesty International holds that the death penalty breaches human rights, in particular, the right to life and the right to live free from torture or cruelty, okay? Or from torture or cruel, inhuman, or degrading treatment or punishment. Okay, the sentence is correct. Okay? Right to live free from torture or cruel, inhuman, or degrading treatment or punishment. Okay, now both rights are protected under this. Okay, so that is not important. Now, okay. Now we'll skip this particular aspect because they are just protocols and other guidelines. All right. Although international law says that the use of death penalty must be restricted to the most serious crimes, meaning intentional killing, Amnesty International believes that death penalty is never the answer. So, what do you mean by never the answer? Are you able to get the meaning of this phrase? Death penalty is never the answer. So, what is the question then? What is that underlying problem that we are trying to solve? Tell me. Good. It's not always the way. Nixon, good, yeah. Is not the solution for what? When I say death penalty is never the answer, for what? What's the problem? Good, Janvi, not the solution to the problem. What is the problem? What is the problem? Not the solution, correct. Never the way out or solution. Good, Aman, Niyati, Ruby, Alekhya, Donna, Janvi. Yes. Not at all the solution, not the result. Correct, Vinil, Meghna, Ajanta. But what is the problem then? Or what is the question? If you get this phrase somewhere, not the solution, correct. To what? Very good, Deepthi. Very nice. Yes. So when we say death penalty is never the answer, so why are you giving death penalty in the first place? Because you want to make an example, right? And you want to tell them that if someone else commits this crime, then hey, they can also be subjected to death penalty. So don't do it. Everyone be careful, right? That is the message that you want to send out through this punishment. But death penalty is never the answer, which means death penalty is not the solution to reduce crime. Okay, it doesn't really stop, right? There is death penalty across multiple countries, but crime doesn't really fall drastically. Okay, so that's what this author says. Okay, good. Okay, so we'll just skip this and we'll go to this part. Juvenile executions. What do you mean by juvenile? Tell me, juvenile. Juvenile. Simple. I know you've all heard it. Okay. Yeah. Anything related to children. Yeah. Related to children. Yes. So the use of death penalty for crimes committed by people younger than 18 is prohibited under international human rights law. Prohibited means not allowed. Okay, you might have heard of these phrases, smoking is prohibited in public places, which means not allowed, okay, as per law. All right. Yet, some countries still sentence to death and execute juvenile defendants. What do you mean by juvenile defendants? Defendant is someone who defends himself. From what? From some accusation that someone says, hey, you have done this crime. Then he or she defends himself or herself, right? That's why defendant. Such executions are few compared to the total number of executions recorded by Amnesty International each year. So what do you mean by this? That as such, juvenile executions are much lower, okay, maybe 1-2%, but it's still there. However, their significance goes beyond their number and calls into question the commitment of the executing states to respect international law. Are you able to understand this particular sentence? Very beautifully written. It calls into question, means it doubts the commitment of the executing state. So the countries who carry out such execution, their commitment to adhere international law is now doubtful. Because hey, you're killing young children in the name of death penalty, but this is not allowed as per international law. So you're not respecting international law then. Okay, that's how the connection goes. Now, since 1990, so what do you mean by since 1990? That is the starting point, and then you're coming all the way to the current moment. Since 1990, Amnesty International has documented at least 149 executions of child offenders in 10 countries. Okay, and all these countries, these are the names of the countries. Okay, now, what do you mean by offenders? Those who commit crime, those who commit an offense are called offenders. Okay, several of these countries have changed their laws to exclude the practice. Okay, Iran has executed more than twice as many child offenders as the other 9 countries combined. So Iran is leading the list here. Okay. At the time of writing, Iran has executed at least 99 child offenders since 1990. So from that year onwards, the article says that 99 of them have been executed. Okay. All right. Let us, go into some opinion-related sentences because that's what will be really useful. Okay, instead of just giving data on countries, let us do this. Reasons to abolish death penalty. Okay, now this will be very useful for you. Just let us focus on this. Why should we abolish? What does Amnesty say? It is irreversible, and mistakes happen. What do you mean by irreversible? Irreversible. The name itself is hinting at you. irreversible? Tell me. Irreversible. Very easy. Yeah. Irreversible, correct, is not reversible. Right? So why are we saying death penalty is not reversible? Because once you kill a person, you cannot bring that person back to life. Right? If you say, hey, I'm sorry, there's a mistake, you did not commit the crime, then we cannot bring that person back to life. Right? So execution is the ultimate irrevocable punishment. The risk of executing an innocent person can never be eliminated. Right? So since 1973, for example, more than 160 prisoners sent to death row in the USA have later been exonerated or released from death row on grounds of innocence. Are you getting? So many prisoners here who were sent to death row, as in they were already given the punishment, but still they had the appeals challenged and so on, have later been exonerated. Exonerated means cleared of their guilt, saying that hey, you did not commit the crime. Okay, so mistakes do happen while giving punishments. Others have been executed despite serious doubts about their guilt. Okay. Point number two, it does not deter crime. So this is what we were talking about earlier, right? Deter means it does not stop crime. Countries who execute commonly cite the death penalty. Cite means they indicate the death penalty as a way to deter people from committing crime. Okay, you're saying that, hey, this is the example. This is what will happen if you commit crime. But this claim has been repeatedly discredited. Discredited means it does not hold value. Okay, it does not hold approval. Okay, and there is no evidence that the death penalty is any more effective in reducing crime than life imprisonment. Okay, so it's almost like the same. It's the article says that death penalty and life imprisonment are almost as severe. Okay, they're equally severe. So either you kill the person or you put him or her in life imprisonment, it's the same. Okay. Next, it is often used with skewed justice systems. Last point, and then we'll go to the other aspects of the activity. It is often used within skewed justice systems. Means skewed means biased. Okay, so the law itself has a certain way of looking at things. In many cases recorded by Amnesty International, people were executed after being convicted in grossly unfair trials. So you did not even give them a fair hearing. Okay, on the basis of torture tainted evidence. Okay, so either the evidence is incorrect or you're torturing someone to give evidence against the person, and with inadequate legal representation. So you don't allow the person to speak. Okay, in some countries, death sentences are imposed as the mandatory punishment for certain offenses, meaning that judges are not able to consider the circumstances of the crime or of the defendant before sentencing. So in certain countries, there is already a rule saying that if someone is carrying drugs, it's death penalty. There is no room for any kind of any kind of exception, saying that okay, this person was really poor, he did not have a choice, he was forced to do it. Nothing of that will be accepted. Carrying drugs, death punishment. Okay, the rule is set clear. All right. So did you all understand the passage? Some numbers initially about juvenile executions, about how this particular NGO is against it, and some reasons, the three reasons. Just give me a yes or a clear if you're able to understand. Just give me a yes or a clear. All right. Now, if you have understood, now you tell me your opinion. Now, what do you think? Okay. Deter means to stop, sort of, to resist. Okay. So now, what do you think? Do you think it should be abolished, or do you think we should continue it? I want a full sentence. Okay. So whatever be your opinion, you have to elaborate and tell me why. So you can tell me that we should not abolish it because it is still considered as the highest order of punishment, and certain crimes indeed warrant it. Okay. Sometimes the world is better off without such extremely violent individuals in the society. That can be one. Or you can say that I don't think such a drastic step should be taken because after a point, extreme punishments will not create fear among people. Okay. That can be another opinion. So tell me, what is your opinion now? But more than abolishing or keeping it to continue, I want to know why. Okay, and I want you to elaborate it properly. That is the objective. Good, Sajida, Deepti, good to have all of you here. Good. Tell me. You can use these points as well. Irreversible, improper justice system does not stop crime, biased. Good. So Azra says everyone should be given a second chance. So even if someone is convicted, give him or her a second chance. It's not the solution. Aman says no, you should not. So that heinous crimes, good word there, heinous crimes of rapes can come to a standstill and invoke a feeling of fear. Good. Invoke, again, very good word used, Aman. Invoke means to create from within. Good. Deepti, if the crime is heinous, no matter what, death penalty should be given. Okay, good. Deepti. Okay, Deepti Kamath. Another Deepti says, I think death penalty should be abolished. Every person deserves a second chance. Saurabh says, judge should consider a fair trial. Okay, good. Petty crimes should not be given. Very nice. Good. Okay. So Saurabh says, it's important to have a fair trial. The punishment is not very important, but the trial is important. Good. It will instill fear, Nixon. Good word there. Instill. Good, Nixon. Good job, everyone. Sumi says it should not be abolished. There are many, because that may reduce the severity. Good, Sumi. Good. Interesting line of thought there. So Sumi says it may they reduce the severity of crimes. Okay. So if someone wants to say rob a house, okay, they would not kill the people inside. Maybe okay, they would still rob the house, but they would not probably kill the person inside because they know that murder is associated with death penalty. Okay, so that's an interesting line of thought. Gayatri, it's mandatory. Okay, good job, everyone. Okay, so what we will do now is we will pick out another couple of paragraphs for our speaking exercise. Okay, so we will probably use these two, and then maybe we will catch another paragraph from here. Okay. Now, when we are going through this, we are going to go very slow. We are going to go 2 to 3 words at a time. Try to focus on the pronunciation, the tone, and the stress, and go very slow. Okay, usually what happens is when we are nervous, we tend to speak very fast because we want to complete that particular paragraph, okay? Complete whatever we are trying to say. That should not be the case, especially in your speaking test. Go very slow, be very clear about what you want to talk about. Okay, good, Janvi, good one, Gayatri. Nice. Let's begin. So another reason is that it is discriminatory. Repeat after me. It is discriminatory. Okay. The weight of the death penalty is disproportionately carried by those with less advantaged socio-economic backgrounds. Less advantaged socio-economic backgrounds. Or belonging to a racial, ethnic, or religious minority. Racial, ethnic, or religious minority. Full stop, so go down at the end. This includes, supporting point, go stronger. This includes having limited access to legal representation. For example, or being at a greater disadvantage in their experience of the criminal justice system. Okay. Ethnic means tradition, Donna. Now, Next one. It is used as a political tool. Okay, stress these important parts. This one, stress it high. It is used as a political tool. Repeat. The authorities in some countries, for example, Iran and Sudan, use the death penalty to punish political opponents. So this is surprising, right? It's not criminals, but to punish opponents. So that should show in your voice. It is surprising. Okay? Use the death penalty to punish political opponents. Okay? Yes, all of you repeating. Now let us do one more bit and then we will move to writing. Okay? This one at least. For 40 years, so it's a big number. So for 40 years, Amnesty has been campaigning. Amnesty has been campaigning to abolish the death penalty around the world. Again, abolish means totally remove, right? So abolish the death penalty. Opponents means competitors, Meghna. Okay? And usually when you have just one, you say that's the opponent standing opposite of you and your competitor. Okay? So think of you playing a badminton match. Okay? That's your opponent you're playing against. Okay? Skewed means biased, Dharini. Skewed, okay, means biased. All right? Okay, so in this particular part of the passage that we used for the speaking exercise, what were some of the other words that you stressed on? Tell me. For example, I did discriminatory. I said it is discriminatory. It is used as a political tool. Punish political opponents. Okay. So these were some of my punches. Did you punch somewhere else which you felt is really important and should stand out in your delivery? Excuse me. Very simple, very easy. What did you do? Including was a word that you punched. Abolish, okay. Socioeconomic, that one, Donna, very good. Disadvantage, socioeconomic backgrounds, good. Janvi, socioeconomic, okay. Economic obviously means not very wealthy, and social means, say, a religious minority or some kind of a class minority, right? A race minority. Race usually distinguished based on the color of the skin, okay. Yes. Criminal justice system, religious activity, Pama, good. Disproportionately, good. Azra, nice one. Less disadvantaged, less advantaged. Sumi, good. Jobi, abolish, very nice. Good ones coming in. Okay. All right. So now what we will do is we will jump into the sentence formation exercise or vocab builder exercise. Okay. So the first one that I want to give is this one. Abolish. Okay. It's a verb. So abolished, abolishing, all these are accepted. Abolish means to completely ban something, completely eradicate, okay, completely eliminate something, abolished. So tell me, give me a sentence with this. For example, you can say the practice of smoking in public places is completely abolished in this particular city because of the good laws. Okay. Shah Alam, socio-economic means social and economic. Economic is your wealth, okay, rich and poor. Social is religion, color of the skin, all these aspects, okay, tradition. Barter system was abolished from the system. Very good. Child labor should be abolished. Very nice, Manda. Government must make strict laws to abolish the practice of child labor. Very good, Amanpreet. Gujarat has abolished liquor. Good. Abolish. The government abolished the man practices. Expand to abolish subsidiaries. Good. Should be abolished. I feel racism should be abolished. Racism's just racism, Ajanta. Don't put S. Kirandeep, government is trying to abolish. Deepthi, child marriage is abolished. Good. Plastic is abolished. Good, Jia. Very nice. Okay, okay. All right. Okay, let's use the next one. The next one would be opponents. Okay, very simple, easy. Opponent. Okay, opponent is your competitor. Okay, a competitor, opponent, but usually the word opponent is used when you are contesting, playing against one another person. Okay, so it's like a head-on thing. It's not, you will not use it as a replacement for competition. Okay, so you will not say there are a lot of opponents while taking this exam. No, that is just general competition with thousands of people. Opponent is when it's one-on-one or one to many, but also something that you can count. Okay. So tell me opponents. You can say that I registered for an international badminton tournament. The moment I stepped onto the court, I realized that my opponent was not very good. So I became confident. Okay, one example. Greatest opponent of BJP is MDC. Okay, good. Okay, we beat our opponents at football. Good. Works. Aman says, the winning team gave a tough competition to their opponents. Good. The opponents in politics keeps the dissenting by the ruling party in check. Good one, Janvi. Nice one. Very good. I used a tricky way to defeat my opponent. Delhi Daredevils was the opponent of Mumbai Indians in IPL. Opponents of the former view argue logically. Good. Kirandeep, very nice. Alekhya, the boxer grounded his opponent. Excellent. Good. Good ones. Good going. Okay, one more. And let us do this one. Skewed. Skewed means distorted or biased. Okay, so one example could be that the results are skewed towards ABC party because they put in a lot of work on the ground. Okay, means distorted. So if a political party out of 100 seats, they're getting 90 seats and the other party is only getting 10. So it is skewed towards this, means there is a disproportionate increase, right? A huge bias towards. And why? You give the reason. Okay. That is called skewed. Now, for this article itself, you can use this word, right? Amnesty International is skewed towards abolishing death penalty, right? So there's a little bias around abolishing it. They see only the good points of abolishing. They don't see the flip side of what can happen if we abolish death penalty, right? So Amnesty International is skewed, maybe, okay? The information provided by YouTube websites is skewed, but good one, Nixon. Results of IPOs seems skewed to Mumbai Indians. Okay, my employer was skewed during. Okay, good, but all of you can kind of give skewed towards what? Okay, so my employer was skewed towards my my failures during the year instead of seeing all the good points that I had accumulated. Okay, Harsh, opponents in share market are making a large amount of profit. Okay, so if you have like a fixed opponent, then you can say that. Good one. The way I see it, good, Donna, good start. Good. Sumi, very good. News channels are skewed towards specific parties. Very nice. Poverty is the crucial opponent of development. Good one, Arya. Previous one. All right. All right. Wonderful, wonderful. So that brings us to the end of this session. Took an article around death penalty. We did good 3 rounds of it, listening, reading, a combination of that. Then we did a detailed speaking round where you copied the tone, stress, pronunciation. And then finally, we did a writing round where you expressed your opinion. And then we also created sentences of the new words. Okay, good job, everyone. Nice words, nice sentences coming in. Pama, Janvi, Arya, good ones. Okay, so on that note, thank you for joining in. I'll see you in the forthcoming sessions. Until then, keep practicing, keep it going. Okay, take care, everyone. Bye bye.